Our first case is going to be Mr. Dillon Archer. Mr. Archer, would you give us your full name and date of birth, please? DOC number.
Dillon Bradford Archer, DOC number 526920.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Archer, let me explain our process to you. I'm going to read some information into the record, then we're going to conduct a parole interview with you. At the appropriate time, we will allow those persons who wish to have input to have their say. Present today and speaking on your behalf is your mother, Ms. Cynthia Giordana, and your father, Mr. Dave Archer. And also present is your stepmother, Ms. Belinda Archer, but she will not be speaking. At the end of that hearing, we'll give you an opportunity to say whatever you'd like to say to the board, and then we'll vote. You understand our procedure, sir?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
This is the matter of Dillon B. Archer, DOC number 526920. DOC number, date of birth is July the 20th of 1987. He's a 5th class offender. He has an adjusted good time date of April the 5th of 2025, a parole eligibility date of July 3rd, 2022. In a full term date of July 4th of 2025. He is currently serving a 4-year sentence on a violation of a protective order, having been adjudicated a habitual offender. Sentencing date was November the 8th of 2021. Is all of that accurate, Mr. Dillon, Mr. Archer?
Yes, sir, it is.
Your case has been assigned to Mr. Alvin Roche. Would you please answer any questions he might have?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, Mr. Archer.
Good morning.
How you doing?
I'm okay. Thank you.
No nervous.
What-
You're a little nervous.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm having a little bit of a hard time hearing.
Okay, can you hear me now?
I can. I just have to.
Turn up the volume.
Back up. Okay.
Can you hear me now?
I can, but he's turned the volume up. There we go. We're back on line now. I can hear you fine.
You can hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. Archer, you're currently 35 years old.
Yes, sir.
Is that correct?
Yes, sir, it is.
And you've been incarcerated for about 2 years next month. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And you're a 5th felony offender. At the age of 33 years old, you were convicted of your 5th felony. Tell me exactly why so much criminal activity in 15 years after your 18th birthday. Tell me what was going on.
Well, sir, when I was younger, I made a mistake, and I had a burglary charge. It was a simple burglary charge. After that, I straightened my life up. I got children. I had children, and I had a relationship with a woman I've been with since I was 22. And a lot of my other problems had stemmed from that. I got in trouble for violation of protection order from her a few times, and we would continue to get back together and try to make our family work.
Mr. Archer, I want to stop you right there. It's more than a few times.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It has been quite a few times.
I count maybe 4 or 5 violations of protective order. You say you've been in a relationship with this person for the last 13 years. Why has she filed for protective orders against you?
We would argue, and she would use the protection order to get me to leave the house. And I would come back, we'd get back together, and the protection orders would still be in place. And I was young. I wasn't thinking how serious it was. And I know now for certain that it's not anything to play with, and that
Tell me the primary reasons why she filed a protection order against you. And be truthful.
yes, sir. For yelling and arguing in front of the children. Because I had used, drank too much or used drugs in the past, many years ago, when my daughter was first born in 2014.
No physical altercation.
No, sir, I have never been physical with her, never put my hands on her.
So evidently you can't get along. She files protective orders. Why do you continue with the relationship?
Because of my children, sir. And because I had built a life with her, and I used that to keep myself out of trouble from doing anything else that was wrong. It was like my safe zone, you know, so to speak, even though it turned out to not be so safe. It was what was keeping me out of the, trouble with other people. It kept me secure at home. It kept me doing the right thing all the time.
Okay. Now, I see where you completed one program, anger management. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. And I've also completed Living in Balance.
Okay, great. You just said Living in Balance recently?
Yes, sir. I've just finished it since I've been here, since I was sent back to this facility. Right when I got here, I finished Living in Balance. That was about, I'd say, a month ago.
Okay, so basically you've knocked another 6 months off your sentence. Is that correct?
I've knocked another 3 months off of my sentence with that class.
Well, I think did you complete both parts of Living in Balance?
I've completed one part of Living in Balance, sir.
When will you start the second part?
I'm uncertain of that.
Because there's 2 parts of that program.
Yes, sir. There is 2 parts of that program.
So when you finish the second part of it, you will knock another 90 days off.
Yes, sir.
So after you finish that, your good time date should be sometime in late 2024.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, what is your current job assignment at St. Tammany?
I don't have one here, sir.
Is Corporal Lott in the room?
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes.
Okay, is there a Living in Balance Part 2 at St. Tammany?
I can reach out to our programs director and I'll get right back with you, sir.
Okay, let me know, okay?
He wants to know.
Now. Are you a trustee at St. Tammany?
No, sir, I'm not. I have been everywhere else, but I am not here. I have been taking some correspondence courses from Blackstone Paralegal, and I've been taking it for about 10 months now. I sent in a certificate that I had accomplished personal injury and torts.
Yeah, we do have that.
Okay.
Now, you've been at St. Tammany since January of 2023.
So the next Living in Balance we're doing will be too.
Okay, now,
All right, no problem.
have you requested any more programs at St. Tammany?
Oh, yes, sir.
Which program?
To be in any programs that I can, that I'm eligible for, sir.
What's your job assignment?
Right now, I don't have one. I don't have a job assignment here.
So what do you do all day?
I just basically sit in this dorm and I study my paralegal work and help these guys, with anything they need with writing and stuff.
Let's talk about your supervision history.
Mr. O'Shea,
Yes,
I hate to interrupt. I just spoke with our programs director. The next living imbalance they do will be a living imbalance too.
Right, and will you be enrolled in that class?
Yes, sir. The
I
lady,
have no way of knowing.
Okay, I'm gonna make sure that he's enrolled in that class, okay, thank you. Let's talk about your supervision history. You've been on supervision multiple times, am I correct?
yes, sir.
And you've not done very well.
No, sir.
Is that a good statement?
It's a factual statement.
The factual statement. You were revoked in 2007. You were revoked in 2009. You were revoked in 2016. And you just got revoked in April of 2021. So
Yes.
why should I put you back on supervision when you failed every time you get on supervision?
I won't make the same mistakes again, sir. And I'm ready to get my life together and move on. I'm 35 years old and I'm ashamed of myself at this point. I'm tired of making my family feel like they are, they have a son that isn't doing anything with himself. And for my child, I have a little girl that I want to make her proud of her father.
Okay. Now, tell me where your mindset was. You've been arrested for a lot of violent offenses, aggravated battery, disturbing the peace, simple assault, remaining after forbidden, resisting a police officer with force, in violation of protective orders 4 or 5 times. Where did all the violence come from?
Sir, to be honest with you, I would like to say that the aggravated battery I was proved innocent of. That
But you were arrested.
yes, sir, I was arrested, and that's and I have never truly been. I had a resisting arrest with force because I pulled away from the officer. I'm not a violent person at all, and
So why did you plead guilty to telephone harassment, improper telephone communication, and simple criminal damage to property?
improper. I don't believe that I have ever been found guilty of telephone harassment, unless that's inside of a protection order.
Sir, speak when I ask you a question, okay?
Yes, sir.
January 23rd, 2019. St. Tammany Sheriff's Office arrested for telephone harassment, simple damage to property under $1,000, improper telephone communications, 2 counts. October 30, 2019, Archer pled guilty as charged and was sentenced to 6 months in parish jail. Is that not true?
I guess that is true. Yes, sir.
Two days later, you're arrested again for violating a protective order, second offense, domestic abuse, aggravated assault. You said you've never been arrested for domestic abuse, but I see it here. Simple criminal damage to property, hit and run, simple assault, and another count of improper telephone communication.
May I speak, sir?
Yes, you may speak, but what I'm saying is, I see that on your rap sheet. Is that the same charge? Did I just say?
I think that is all what happened at one time, sir. And even though it has, I'm not minimizing anything, it says aggravated domestic assault as because I placed the woman in fear and apprehension. I never actually put my hands on her or anything like that. There's a mother of my child, and I would never do something like that to my children's mother. Or I wouldn't have my children looking at me like this, or
Yeah.
feeling.
And 2 years passed, in 2021, you were arrested again for violating a protective order. It's a constant thing, it's a repeat, same charge, same individual. When are you going to see that you have an unhealthy relationship and it's bringing you down and causes you to be incarcerated?
Yes, sir. I understand that now, sir. And I went a long time without even seeing my child, my little girl, and it's
Yeah.
everything within myself I want to do right so I can be a good father to my child.
Mr. Archer, I have an idea. I want to give you some much needed domestic abuse programming.
Yes, sir.
Programming will help you to recognize situations, help you to diffuse the situations, and maybe, just maybe, you can take an unhealthy relationship and use the techniques that you will receive in this program to work towards making it a healthy relationship. And if you recognize that it's not able to be a healthy relationship, you might want to end the relationship.
Yes, sir.
Are you willing to go through this program?
Yes, sir.
Chairman?
I think that would help with me getting rights to my child and my custody rights and everything. So
It would.
the ladies here had suggested this to me and had told me that they were gonna put this in my paperwork upon my release.
Oh, that's all right. I will order it this morning.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
When the parole board orders a program, DOC will 100% of the time agree with our recommendation.
So thank you.
Good. Let's hear from your father, Mr. Dave Archer.
Yes, sir. What I'd like to say is Dillon has been attending this paralegal course. And I spoke with the people at Blackstone Career Institute. And at the present time, he has a 92.38 grade point average. They're expecting a couple of more courses to come soon. On behalf of his repeated issues with, violating a restraining order is no excuse for it, but as men, sometimes we think we can fix things if we communicate. But if the other party doesn't want to hear it, then it's a moot point. So I just wanted to throw that tidbit out there. I understand him trying to fix and trying to keep his little family together, but sometimes things aren't meant to be. But I think he's learned his lesson, and I'd like to see him get out and be productive and be instrumental in his daughter's life.
Thank you, Mr. Archer. We appreciate your comments. Ms. Jordana?
Yes.
Ms. Jordana, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, we were having some technical problems with seeing you and hearing you. Why don't you go ahead and tell us what you'd like to tell us about your son?
Well, first of all, I think he's a great person. He's been my favorite since he was a baby. He's intelligent. He has a lot of motivation to do better for himself. He's educating himself while he's in there to get better jobs. And when he gets out, he can, be around a better group of people. He's, made some mistakes. He thought he was doing the right thing and, trying to get back with his family. But that's not the way things work nowadays. And I just know he's a good person. And he's willing to try and do his best to, to continue to, on with his life. His life is just wasting in there, and he has a lot of potential. He's highly intelligent. He just made a mistake trying to keep a family, and that's not the way you do things nowadays.
Thank you very much, ma'am. We appreciate your comments.
Thank you. Thank you for calling me.
You're welcome. Mr. Archer, is there anything you'd like to say to the board before we vote?
Yes, sir. I'm glad to have made it here. It's been being at these facilities like this, it's quite difficult to stay out of trouble sometimes, especially when you're locked in the back with these people. I've done everything I could to make it this far. And as you've seen, I had a write-up in my file a year ago. And I finally made it here in front of y'all. And I'm hoping that, y'all have see that I've done everything I can to change and to better myself at this point. And I feel like I'm much older now, and I need to get out of here and to move on with my life. And I'm willing to go through any classes I can to get out and help me with getting custody rights to my child. I have to totally restart my life now. I have no house or anything, but my family is willing to help me. I'm lucky for that. And just want to thank y'all.
Thank you.
So,
Panel ready to vote?
Yes.
Mr. Roche?
Mr. Archer,
yes, sir.
I'm gonna ask you one question before I vote. And I don't need anything but a number. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
You said you had a write-up. How many months ago was that write-up?
That write-up was,
I just need a number.
the write-up I had. The write-up I had that I was in trouble for was over a year ago for fighting. That I went to DB court on it. I was found guilty.
Sir. Please. I said all I needed was a number.
Oh, yeah. Mr. Locke, can you help me with that?
So you said it was 12 plus months ago.
14 months ago.
14 months ago, Mr. Lott says.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Mr. Lott, I believe,
sir.
I believe every word that your mother and your father just said. You were trying to keep your little family together. But sometimes you gotta get just a little bit older than 35 to realize no matter what you do, if you don't get cooperation from your partner, you're doomed to failure. So you need to reevaluate that relationship and then decide what you're gonna do. But I want to tell you that you can have a very healthy relationship with your children without being in a relationship with their mother.
Sure.
The courts can provide that you have visitation or even custody of those children. But the relationship is getting in the way with that wholesome relationship with your children. So you can have what you want without being in a relationship. You understand what I'm trying to tell you?
Yes, sir.
And hopefully this domestic violence prevention program that I'm ordering you to go to will help you in your decision-making process about your children and your relationship. Mr. Chairman, my vote is to grant conditionally upon completing the Bossier Medium Domestic Violence Prevention Program because he needs the training, conditions after release. You have a curfew from 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. I want you to do community service 4 hours a month. Get with your parole officer, and he will help you to figure out what kind of community service you will render. And I want you to enroll in ongoing anger management classes for 1 year after release. I want you to reinforce that training you got in anger management so you don't, you're not in this situation again, okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Roche, Mr. Freeman.
I agree, that's what you need, but I'm gonna add the condition that, anytime you go to see your little girl, have somebody with you. Your mother, father, whomever, so, you know, we'll have more facts as to what goes on, and they may be able to diffuse a situation before it gets out of hand. So, good luck to you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Mr. Archer, thank you, Mr. Freeman. Mr. Archer, I agree with my colleagues. Your parole has been conditionally granted upon your enrolling and completing the Bossier DVPP program, domestic violence program, as well as once you're released, you're to have a curfew, community service work, anger management classes for at least a year afterwards, and only visit your daughter with supervision.
Yes,
Good
sir.
luck.
Thank y'all.
You're welcome.